that is the Shinobi Unfolding.
Konnichiwa, mi gentes, and we are back with a new season of the Shinobi Unfolding. I'm your boy Jay Aguilar. Digi currently is on a mission. We're hoping that he's safe, he's sound. Hopefully we get to see him real soon. But till then, things got really bad for us during the summer. We apologize to all our viewers that we weren't consistent, but this is the way we're going to make it up. I did not come alone. I came with the team. And this season, we're not calling the Ambu Ninjas Special Ops. We're not calling Level 5. Or we are calling the Kages. And, I'm going to allow them to introduce them to you guys. So whoever wants to pick up the mic, go for it.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Roland, and welcome to the Shinobi Unfolding Season 3. And I think the animes that got it started for me were, the typical Dragon Ball, and actually Sailor Moon, just because those were the main ones that were on at the time in America, growing up. So yeah, definitely those two, they set it off for me.
What's up, everybody? You can call me JL. Name's Josh as well. There's quite a few Joshes in this group, actually. There's three of us. We identify very differently as Joshes. And to my right, this gentleman right here.
Hey guys, so I'm back. I'm Juan, or as they call me, the Professor.
Thank you. Yes.
He didn't.
So I think I'm finally gonna just own that name.
He didn't think you were going to.
No, I'm going.
No.
I'm going.
You really thought you were just gonna not go with it.
It's fine.
My name is Juan, and that was it.
My name is Juan.
My name is Juan.
I watched
Juan.
DBZ in Spanish
Call me
dub.
Jay. You like all the other 4 J's here?
Shout out to Roland in Philly as well.
Yes.
Right.
You guys will know him very soon.
Oh, definitely. So, as you guys seen, we are definitely bigger, better than before, and of course, we just come here to talk about something so amazing, brilliant, God-given, blessing the earth and the universe with peace, love, and harmony. We're talking about something that calm your mind when you're going through a tough time. We are talking about anime. And of course, we have all different type of story about anime. You guys already know my story from the past 2 seasons, but I'm going to let these guys share how they were introduced to anime. I think Juan gave a little, synopsis.
Yeah, I give a little bit on the
past, right?
Yeah,
but refresh their memory.
I mean, earlier today, you guys were asking on the Facebook page. If you guys don't follow us, you guys gotta follow us on Facebook right now.
With the plug.
Yes, shameless plug. But because everybody's always wondering, what anime did you start with, and right? And so I got to go back to when I was 4 years old, 4 or 5.
Wow.
And I remember my older brother came home when I was, living in Guatemala, and he came with all his friends, and they're all excited they're gonna watch something on television. And I'm like, what is it? And it was this 1970s big anime called Messenger Z, that it's about mechas. Really not like Gundam where you have all the details and cool
Big
stuff,
ones.
but it's just big ones, very round, really easy to draw. The villain was half man, half woman, but had 2 personalities. It was just crazy stuff, and a different monster every single week that they will blow up, right? And so just watch that, and I just got wow, I gotta watch this every day. And then afterwards, you'll be Saint Seiya, and then Captain Tsubasa, which was all about soccer, and that was a prime time on television, 7 o'clock. You get a fight with your mom so that she's not gonna be watching her telenovelas, and you can watch that. It was just great, right?
You overcame novellas to watch anime.
I did. You gotta.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Right there.
So that's how I started 25 years ago. Still going strong.
Still going. I can't believe you beat novellas.
Yeah.
I really can't. That's hard enough to do as it is. I use One Piece as a good reference in my first time with anime, but it goes way back further than that, and it has to touch Dragon Ball. I had to be 4 or 5. I was going to Catholic school at the time, which I got kicked out of later on because
Nice.
we would draw these things all day and whatnot, and that led into one another thing. But the day I saw Dragon Ball for the first time, I came into school the next day, and this kid just happened to be drawing it. He must have seen it on TV the same way I did. And they didn't start us at episode 1. They dropped like episode 2 or 3. So I didn't get to see episode 1 of Dragon Ball till years later. And I had no idea he had like landing out of space. I thought he was already from Earth. The story didn't really make any sense to me as a kid, but that's where like it inspired me to draw, was seeing like these animations and this cool like just layout, this world. I'd never seen it before. I was a very sheltered kid at the time too. So, you know, God was a big thing in my house, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but I'm not as religious as I used to be. But if it wasn't from God, I couldn't watch it. So I would sneak Dragon Ball Z here and there just to get that dopamine dose of, you know, some anime. And then years later, Foxbox comes on TV. You remember Foxbox?
Nah, I just remember Toonami.
Yeah, I do.
You do
Yeah,
remember
I
Foxbox.
remember.
Foxbox is when Funimation first started. They had 4Kids Entertainment on
I remember
WB.
4Kids.
Remember, and then turned
With
into
Fox.
CW. Yeah.
Okay.
So 4Kids would take animes over here, and they would chop them up and give them to us.
Yep.
What was another one? It was like Fighting Foodons. One Piece was on there. Ultimate Muscle was another one.
Oh, that was a good one.
Right, they had like Yu-Gi-Oh. They had
Metabots.
Metabots.
Digimon.
Metabots.
Monster Rancher. They had Monster Rancher.
Dude,
Monster
yo,
Rancher.
Real quick.
Monster Rancher.
Have you guys tried to play the PlayStation?
I had
PlayStation
it.
No,
1,
no.
and you had to collect the disc
I
in
wish.
order for you to
You
be
could
able
put
to.
a disc in your game though.
Any random disc?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, get
If
out.
you had a music CD, you could put it in your. You could open your slot. You could put it in, and a random monster would come out of your disc.
I am so mad about this right now.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, they played it just like the show, yo.
Time to go to eBay.
Yo, get the greatest hits or something.
But continue on, good sir.
Sheesh. Yeah, so Foxbox came on. I just remember One Piece standing out. Like, this dude was stretchy, and it started off, and I've been current with One Piece since it dropped in the United States. Since, what, 1997? I've been current. I've been current since that day. I think I'm the only one in the group that can say that. So I take a lot of pride
I've
in
tried.
that.
I
You
can't.
made it halfway.
I made it halfway.
Halfway.
One day. I'll get over the other half.
You're on the struggle bus.
Okay. So the thing with me is that I've already proclaimed to the universe, but it seems that JL is trying to speed this process a little bit sooner than my plans, is that I was going to do it when I retired. Why? Because then, you know, with thousands of episodes that will be released by the time I'm 65, I'll be able to enjoy it with no interruption. Kids probably in college, wife probably like doing her thing, and we just see each other during like, you know, meal breaks and call it a day.
Time to bang on 900 episodes of something.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, you know, One Piece, I do hear great review, especially from JL's, especially from my friends from the Bronx, Manhattan, Boston. You know, you guys let me know what's up, but it's not my time.
It's an investment. It's a huge investment.
It is,
I
but
think any show is an investment when you think about it, you know? Like, you remember ever opening up an anime in episode 1 and you're like, oh, you know, you just spent 26 minutes of your time and you didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yes. You know, like that. There's nothing worse than when you start watching any anime, right? And then by the last season, you're like, what is this? You know, and I'll always bring it up. Like, I was a huge Bleach fan. I love Bleach.
Bleach was awesome.
But by the
Good example.
But by the end of it, it was like 53% of it was just fillers.
Facts.
They never really answered some of the questions that they put at the beginning of the show. They never finished the story from the manga. They just canceled it. They didn't come back with, you know, any like OVAs or anything. And it was just.
So what you're letting our audience know is that for you, Bleach was definitely that high pack, great artwork in certain saga, but it didn't really like it let you down at a certain point.
Right. Like every time, like, and I think I mentioned it to you guys before when I was here last season, that you get to a part where you're invested with the story, you're happy, you're like, oh, a big fight is coming up, right? There's a little break, maybe like 1-2 weeks without episodes, and then you come back and they're like, hey, before we move forward with the story, let's talk about this story that we forgot about because we probably dreamed it. And here's 26 episodes about a story that has nothing to deal with this. And you're never going to see any of these characters ever again, and they don't mean anything. and this is what happens. Yeah, it's a big letdown.
I think that Bleach is definitely a prime candidate before Sword Art ever came around and did it themselves.
Right.
Is that I think Bleach got up to like season 3, and then all of a sudden Ichigo's emotions became like a subplot where he kept diving into his sword and his feelings about what I don't know, because half the time he never even had close relationships with anybody to begin with. But he was always depressed. And if you're going to have a show portray something like depression the way he was, like, I honestly felt bad when I was watching it at times, because it was just constantly in his mind in this dreary-ass world with all these buildings upside down and this water. And he's, like, connecting to his inner spirit, and his inner spirit's not talking back to him. And he's got to dig deeper and deeper with these metaphors surrounding everything. And like you said, no answers. No answers to any of these questions you're asking. It's like, why portray him this way? And then he's going to come out of it, beat the bad guy, and then go through it again and again and again. And not even explore the whole idea of him being a badass Hollow. Because when he transformed and he ripped old boy's wings off, that was insane. I was actually kind of in fear. I was like, wow, he just became like really super powerful. And you never see that again.
Never again.
Unless I'm wrong and it does show up again. Okay, so I am still caught up.
So the thing with Bleach is that it's just what Juan mentioned, is like it didn't stay consistent with their storyline. So it like so many questions has not been answered. You know what I'm saying? For an example, I think you brought this up, or maybe someone else, about Inuyasha. That the ending scene of the last saga is the battle with Inuyasha's father, and they were at the last dying breath. You know what I'm saying? So everybody hid behind a rock, and the girl said something to Inuyasha, be like, I hope to see you again. And it looked like they were just going to go at it one more time, and then it stopped. Then a few years later, they reboot the program, the whole show again.
Was it a movie or a show?
No, it's a show. They reboot it, and then all you see is like it never happened. And it really messed up people's mind. People is like, well, how did they escape? How did they survive? Is this a chronicle? This is still, going back to it.
So they just skip to like world peace, basically.
We don't know.
I think it's that for like at a certain point they used to cancel anime. Like nobody's watching this. They were like, nobody's watching this.
They weren't pulling merchandise money like we do now.
We're gonna cancel it, and then it's canceled, and then they keep getting all this money. Like, whoa, like Americans are watching this, Europeans are watching this. Everyone in Latin America's watching this. Like, they're loving it. Let's bring it back. And they're like, well, we kind of messed up the story. Like, well, let's just forget about it. Saint Seiya did the same thing. They killed the main character. And they were like, it's getting canceled, we're gonna kill him, whatever, boom. And then like 20 years later, they're like, hey, new season, who's this? Like,
all because somebody had the investment money to say, hey, let's go to the studio and a studio and pay them with a license that we got, and let's make it happen.
And I think that's why like we're the best time. If you're an anime fan, this is the best time. Like, you can watch something that just came out in Japan a couple of hours ago, already dubbed in English for some of them, right?
Yeah.
Like My Hero Academia, they keep doing that simulcast.
Come a long way.
On Mondays.
Netflix originals are popping up left and right from series that were just mangas and popular, and now they're just forcing money into them and animating the hell.
And I used to trash talk a lot about Netflix. And Netflix, if you're hearing this, I am sorry, okay? Please, if you have the kindness of your heart to forgive me, please send us some sponsorship stuff, so we'll help you promote and get you more audience, because of my trash talk, the universe actually did you a favor. So
because they definitely need to promote, because they're not promoting any shows. Like, you won't know what they're having,
and that's why we're here.
You wouldn't know what they're having on Netflix right now.
That's why we're here. We're here to help those who don't have.
They're gonna need help November 12th.
Oh yeah.
Oh snap.
I'm just gonna foreshadow whatever. If you don't know what November 12th is, well, we'll talk about that later, but Netflix has some catching up and work to do very, very soon. Very, very soon.
All right. So as you guys can see, the Shinobi Unfolding is not only about us recapping anime like we used to, but also just having like topic conversation of the stuff that we went through. As you can see, there are certain anime shows that still left off with a bad taste in the mouth, I should say. For an example, in this one, I think we're all probably going to do the same reaction. Juan probably already read my mind, and it's Sword.
Yeah, Sword Art Online. We've been talking about this. We have been talking about this for quite some time.
There we have.
How bad did this show like impact you of not even sponsoring or even giving it a positive review in your lifespan?
Before you go deeper into it, because I think you watched more of it than I did.
I only watched season 1.
Okay.
Season 2.
I went in. I think it starts to change around season 2, right?
It does.
It does. Okay. So I did watch season 1 through it. I watched him dungeon delve, and at the time I was heavy into RPGs, a little heavier than I am now, and so it felt like a real connection where like you would want to be in a fantasy world like that, and the game mechanics that applied to him were fresh as fuck. And the way he was gaining experience and he was becoming like a badass soldier, I got put in this place real quick. It seemed like it was going somewhere cool. And then they wanted to, make it like Twilight, but backwards, where it was really good at the end and it was just romantic the whole other way through. You know what I mean? Like, that was severely disappointing to me. You can go into detail more than I can.
I don't have... Like, it's not one of those things like I hate romantic stories or anything that has to deal with love, but you have to show me why.
With love?
Right. You have to show me why a character cares about a different character. You can't just be like, hey, I love you, I'm in love with you, but you don't show me like, well, why? What is this person doing?
So you're more into character development,
Yes,
the growth, the whole
there's no
process that One Piece offered to every individual characters.
I won't say that about One Piece. I still have my qualms with it. It is my favorite series, but it's not perfect.
Right.
So many episodes for a reason.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons.
But the growth that they introduced, like every character picking up a new ability or a certain focus point.
Yeah. That they nail. They definitely nail.
Sword Art Online did not.
I mean, it sold you something at the beginning, and they're like, haha, we lie. Like,
But guess what? When it comes to the MMO animes, that's not the only one that does it. Log Horizon did the same shit.
Oh, break it down for us real quick.
Log Horizon was just similar to Sword Art Online. Like, a kid he doesn't even wake up. He just, all of a sudden the anime starts. He's already in this world, and it's an MMO, and he's like a strategist. He's like the mana guy. He's the support character in the back. He's like not the medic, but he's like the barrier caster. He's the caster of the group, but he's like the smart one at the same time. And the episodes eventually, like, it's cool to see someone grind for their level and everything and fighting, but like when it's like kind of cut and paste through and they kind of rush through the battle, like, oh, poof, he leveled up like 14 levels in between, like a span of 1 minute between scenes. I was just like, man, they're just doing this wrong again too. Like, they have certain elements to their formulas in those animes that work very well. They have the world that's fresh. It's a really cool thing that you would want to explore. But then you've got like a whack lead character. Or you've got a great lead character, like someone who dual wields swords.
Whack support.
Who looks really cool, who has like a cool outfit, who is only by himself.
Yes.
He doesn't want to team up with anybody else, right?
Team
Like,
Sasuke.
He had a team before, and they all died, and it was all his fault, right? Like, he's got to follow. But then we don't see any of that anymore. They're like, we'll throw it down.
I mean, like, we can't really.
You know who's doing it right?
Who?
The Shield Hero.
Oh,
The Shield Hero.
right. The Shield Hero's nailing it.
All right, fair enough. But before we talk about some pros real quick, we talk about what introduced you guys to anime. We talked about certain anime that kind of left a bad taste in the past, which I'm hoping you guys don't really recommend our audience. And if you do like it, we're not judging you. We're just letting you know you're just wasting your time. Right. But
I mean,
It's not fair to say.
when
You can waste your time. You can invest more if you want. It's all you.
When you asked me about an anime that left you like a bad taste, I thought
There we go.
talking about Dragon Ball Super. And I watch it.
ooh,
All of it.
why is Dragon Ball Super left you a
I
bad
just thought
taste?
it had. Well,
Bad taste.
we waited for
Bad
We
taste.
waited for so long.
Are you wearing the shirt?
The Trunks arc was bad.
No,
The beginning.
The whole thing was
like
bad.
really bad animation.
You know what the
forgets like simple things.
you know what the ending animation of that fight reminded me of?
What?
You ever watch Toriko?
No.
No one here has watched Toriko?
We're gonna have to watch it.
You're not gonna. No, that is a terribly animated show.
Oh.
It's shonen, It's about the food world, and it's like gourmet chefs and hunters combined. Like you're a gourmet hunter, and you have a chef, right? And you go out and you catch the ingredients, and then you have your boy prep it up. Like it was a cool team dynamic thing that they introduced. Again, started out real dope. Watch, I'll play some scenes while we're doing this. But then it got to a point where they had no idea where to take the plot, and the animation was really fucking bad. And it reminded me, you're okay with me swearing, right? I just want to. All right, this is open. Yeah, internet. If you're sensitive, guess what? This is not your podcast.
Maybe
if you're a sensitive anime fan, this is not gonna be for you.
Listen, maybe they don't want to stream this in Massachusetts now.
Maybe not. I mean,
what's up with that real quick?
Bitches get stitches.
It's just a stupid story. Like I guess somebody wants to make the B word illegal in Massachusetts.
Did you see the meme of Patrick throwing the word cunt? in like a text bubble, it's like cunt.
That's what it was referring to? Oh snap. I thought it was referring to more to some other like things dudes don't say to their girlfriend, and you know you say that. No. So so it's the B.
Oh, this.
You know
Yeah. Okay, I didn't really watch much of this, but I'm familiar with it because it had like a crossover with One Piece and Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Super came back.
Mother.
It did. And because he was rising
So-
to such popularity and shown
While they're conversating, to me, I never seen this before in my life, and it's very interesting of the artwork because it kind of, no offense to this anime I'm about to mention, please don't.
No.
JoJo Bizarre, the the main character is built. He's handsome in a way, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of detail on the muscle, like JoJo.
I didn't watch this,
but not Jonathan.
I didn't watch this.
Or Joseph.
This kind of like they were like, hey, this is an anime made by anime fans because the dude's wearing like a very similar gi to like Goku's.
Yeah.
There are a lot of characters. There are like a lot of characters that are kind of like rip off from other characters on the shows.
As a lead character, all right, he is great. Again, there's certain components about animes like this that have greatness and they have some severe faults. Him as a character and his abilities are super dope. All right, and I'll break him down if we have time.
He's already Super Saiyan Blue before Goku.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's naturally walking in with the god form.
Whoa.
But everything, his concept is everything that he's eaten along his journey becomes a part of him. So there's one part of the series where he's along this endless road, and the only way for him to get down this road, right, it's this golden brick road. The only way for him, because it just keeps looping the more forward he goes, the only way for him to get out of it is for him to learn how to appreciate everything about his journey so far. All right, he's constantly eating, gaining these abilities from these rare-ass creatures, and then he comes to a point where he starts to starve, and he starts to go into this hunger form. And that hunger form, his appetite is like his stand in a way, I want to say. Okay. You'll see like stand representation in the fights, but they're not actually there, right? But when his hunger takes over because he hasn't eaten enough, he just turns into a savage. But it taught, like, there was appreciation about food in this, and that's what really drew me into it. But during this arc that, you know, we're seeing this fight right now, the whole way was just filler, because they didn't know what to do with the plot. They had a main enemy that didn't really have anything else to do.
Every single animal?
Yeah, everything he's eaten along the way, including one of the dumbest boss battles I've ever seen in my fucking life, where they literally had to combine powers to create a giant Pac-Man to eat another villain monster. And I'm not kidding you, it's legit Pac-Man. Legit Pac-Man.
Sometimes when you get money and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Why?
Got all the pretty colors going on, man. Well, I'll show you the Pac-Man one. But anyways, yeah, this anime just, it started off great and started to taper down. The manga is still continuing.
Nice.
But much like how Hunter x Hunter kind of like ended abruptly, it just got stuck in limbo, I guess. I don't know. It was close to me. And the fact that it was in that crossover battle with Luffy, Goku, and him being the fourth guy there. Who else was there?
I think Luffy, it was just three.
Luffy, Goku, Toriko.
I don't think. No.
It was just those three.
Just three. Yeah. So I remember.
It wasn't a fourth.
No.
Okay.
I went through like a couple of years that I stopped watching anime because there wasn't anything. like that. At least that I was into it.
Yeah.
And then I remember that OVA came out, and it was like a big special, right? And everybody's talking about it because it's Dragon Ball. You follow anything with Dragon Ball, and that's all they will talk about. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, I don't know who this guy is, but one day I'm going to come across it. And I never did until now. So now I know.
I mean, like, I respect JL opinion and all, but I might give this a try alongside with other.
Please do. All right, because if you're a food fan, it's awesome.
No, I am.
It really, like, it's not like Shokugeki with food. Oh, yeah, that's a good one there. Yeah. But this just, I don't know. They definitely didn't get the financing they needed at some point because a lot of episodes there was a lack of dialogue and the animation was very stop motion almost, like very, very short in between fights. Some of it didn't even make sense. Like they were just repeatedly doing like barrage attacks all day. It was just like, come on, guys.
All right, so here's a good question, unless if Juan got something else to throw in. Okay, so what I think this is very fair to let our audience know what your insight are. What makes a good main character, villain, and side support? You know what I'm saying? What will be the ideal equation? Does one have to be OP? The other one has to be
summoning Pac-Man.
Not summoning Pac-Man.
I wasn't kidding.
Whoa.
I wasn't.
Excuse me. While I look at the sun devour the. Oh, look like a freaking solar beam attack.
Devour the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that went vegan.
What?
That's all the characters' appetites
combined
into one.
Pac-Man.
This is like the final animation for a final fight of an arc.
And the animation looks like those stick fighting.
Yep.
Like you just move from side to side.
Like back in '89.
Right.
This is a like arc-ending fight right here.
This is an arc-ending fight.
This is how.
So the Pac-Man is going through like the skin cell and just munching and munching and munching, and it starts to grow. And then it looked like it has like a black hole inside of him, and he's just munching and munching.
This monster has fists but doesn't have fingers because it's difficult to animate fingers.
Rob Liefeld.
You know, like I know some people that do art, and then you look at their art, and all their art's always like
on the back because they can't do legs,
right? Yeah.
The feet are always hiding. The hands are always hiding, and
you know what? All the characters too were really, really cool. Like his one of his boys, he like can use sound. He can just like emit mad sound. He's super strong. The one with the hair, I mean, he just. I don't know. His hair just grows really large, and he does shit. Yeah. And the other dude studies poisons. And he's like immune to a bunch of different poisons and food combinations and poison. I guess I don't know. Add up. I don't know how you want to get people. Food poisoning.
Terrible, right there. What is?
This is. I'm not kidding.
Less detail.
Look, it's smaller all of a sudden, but it's eating. But it was huge earlier when he was like fighting the barrage of fists.
And then it did eat on an arm, but then the arm is back.
Yep.
Oh, because the monster like regrows it.
No.
Mm.
He regrowed. He kind of like.
Look, now he's huge again. Then he's small.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like,
oh my God.
Look at the car.
Oh my.
You see the car? It's like something a little kid will draw.
If you guys have not seen the Toriko Pac-Man final fight, all right, these are not.
That's not like an actual boxing fight right there.
We're not over exemplifying how bad it is. It really was disappointing. To watch a whole arc and then this be the ending fight of it. It was like, wow, all that desperation and the world gonna end, and you just ended up believing in yourself to summon a golden Pac-Man and watch it eat a giant monster slowly and leaving tire tracks all over it. Yep. I don't know. I can't tell if it's Kirby or Pac-Man after that, what I just saw, to be honest.
I mean, he definitely looked like the pre-evolution of Agumon for sure in my perspective. I'm telling you.
Wait, yo. What is that? Is that a carpet?
Those are all people watching.
On a Megatron?
Oh, I forgot why all those people were there. I think some world leader was gonna sacrifice all of them up to it. Yeah, that's why they were all huddled up and shit.
Yeah, guys, maybe the final arc will not be your.
Well, there was another arc after this, amidst all this destruction.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
So, this sounds like kind of like Hunter x Hunter to me in a way. But let's just go back to the original. I saw your face. I know. Yeah. But let's talk about back to the main question again. What makes a good main character, good villain, and maybe side support support members to the anime show? Any of you guys could go.
I mean, I want to watch an anime where there's a character who's like, hey, I have a goal, and I know I can't get there now, but I need to do X, Y, and Z to get there. Okay. And then you see that character just growing, like, hey, like, I know I can't do this, and I'm kind of like stupid, or I'm not strong enough, or I need to like study, or I need to learn from other people, and then you see that person go through that.
We love development,
right? It's simple development. It sounds like it's simple, right? But it's not.
No,
because not everybody nails it.
And then to have those side characters that challenge that character, right? Like you get a challenge. It's like your friendships. You want friends that will challenge you. To call you up, said, "Hey man, did you work out? Like, did you? Friends, not enemies, rivalry. Man. Like somebody who's like, hey, you know what you need to do to get where you need to be. So
rivalries is a good topic.
Ooh.
Yes, rivalries is a very.
I think save that for next week. Though.
I mean, it's just a topic in general, but I feel like that's kind of like veered off. Yeah, you see a rivalry.
Actually, it relates.
It does relate. It totally relates. So I feel like we all just like have My Hero rolling around in our heads the whole time when we talk about what makes a good anime main character, you said, and supporting characters. Yeah. That's one of the best supporting character casts like ever done in an anime, in my opinion. Okay. Because they're not just on the sidelines. They've all developed along the way. If you haven't caught up with My Hero Academia, you need to. Shame on you for not seeing season 4. It's 2 episodes. Get on it. Okay.
Let them know.
Casuals.
1 movie. Another one coming. Yeah.
I haven't seen
it's going to be canon again. Like, who's... Like, come on. It's great. But it's... Look, and it's not to discredit any anime that's done the same formula as My Hero, because it's not any different than a lot of things. He's a young kid who's got a lot against him. Okay, the odds are stacked. All right, his bone is wrong and he can't get a quirk. So what's he gonna do? End up running into a hero. All right, that's cool. Accidental fate, whatever. But amidst all that around him, if it was just about him, it would be boring as hell. We've seen it before. All right. Same thing happened in Bleach in the very beginning. Ichigo was down and out, and someone showed up and saved him, and he got powers. We ended up hating it at some point. My Hero's 4 seasons strong, manga's running strong, and it just hasn't fallen off at any point. You get the first episode that we just watched, and we just get a little recap, and we see everybody together, and there's a little bit of growth in them. You see Midoriya get bigger and bigger as the anime goes on.
I do like that.
There's a sincere attachment to him, right? Yeah. You start off seeing him crying in front of the computer with his favorite superhero saying everybody.
Toe was stained, and that was crazy.
Yes, it was. That kid coming from that to where he is.
Woo! But not only that, but he's like, hey, like, I know I'm not where I need to be. Like, I know I'm good, but I'm not that great. So he continues to train.
I want to see what you say. He
continues to spend, like, he's just like, instead of being like, oh, great, I have these powers, I'm just going to sit back and relax. He's like, no, like, this is some serious consequences.
His powers are strong, but without his physical body being ready to handle all that, he is helpless.
And he's constantly calling people like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? Can you mentor me? Do you know somebody who knows somebody that might help me out? He's just doing that. Like it's difficult to look at him and say like, oh, I don't like him as a character. Like, of course you like him.
Of course you do. Like, there's no way you can't like him. Do you think that formula though is kind of current right now? So like, all right, the top animes that are like that right now. You got My Hero,
Black Clover.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, anti-magic against a world of magic, which as of today, I am 19 episodes current, and I have a long way to go.
What do you think of Mars, though? Real quick, what do you think of Mars?
I mean, I just saw him get, spoiler alert, got slapped with a sword.
Who spoiled it to you?
No, whoever's listening, if they haven't watched it.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was you.
I mean, unless I'm the only one in the world that isn't current with Black Clover right now. Am I? Are you current?
That's me. I'm not current. Kermit. That's good.
But you're ahead of me.
No, I mean, I watched some episodes ahead of you.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I've, just followed the
You
whole
didn't
thing.
go through the development phase, the thing that attracts
It's
you
rough.
about an anime. You didn't go
Maybe,
through that.
maybe.
Personally, it's rough.
It is.
He is
I mean-
annoying main character.
Yeah.
He's growing on me as of episode 19.
I mean, I had a conversation in the first time that you brought me over that I had never watched this. I had never watched Black Clover. Everybody keeps telling me to watch it. I watch an episode, you kind of give me like an idea what it was about, and it just sounded to me like it's about Rock Lee, like, which is good, but we wanted
I guess we could mention Naruto.
we wanted that like 10 years ago.
There's no way not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we throw in One Piece?
Yeah, I mean, again, let's just touch the My Hero thing real quick to
Yeah.
trail on that, though.
Yep.
The character with odds all against him and good supporting characters, My Hero is easily nailing it by all odds.
And the villain side?
The villain side, I mean,
One for all.
here's the thing that makes that so good villain-wise is that I don't know if the villains are even bad, to be honest, because the way heroes are portrayed in that society,
Oh.
there's something dark going on behind it that is not being told to the students yet. Like, the villains believe in something very, very adamantly. It's not like they want world destruction. Yeah, there's a reason they're going after whatever it is they're going after. There's a reason they followed All for One is because, I mean, there's something behind whatever the heroes are doing to society, what they have done, that's put them in the shadows, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like there's something to them. I've never seen villains portrayed in a way where they're trying to kidnap people, or they were trying to take out All Might, obviously, because he's a target. But All Might showing up pushed how many people into the shadows? I mean, they had a bunch of Yakuza organized crimes, and all of a sudden those guys get pushed away, and then, and then villains start to rise up. It's like, okay, we need to, lead these criminals somewhere else. It kind of turned the world on its ear in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, those are all really good points. Something different that I really like about My Hero is from the very beginning, season 1, we showed like what the strongest person in the universe. It's
Immediately,
that. Like, we saw that.
This
like,
is the top.
This is the top. This is the roof. There's
Number
no
one.
higher. This is
Only
what it is.
one.
So you know that from the very beginning, this is as high as it's gonna get. So you're not gonna get like, all right, we're in season 4. What do we do now? Another transformation. Like, or you have to hear somebody else saying like, oh, I've never felt somebody as strong as this. And it's like, you just said that last season. And you're
Exactly.
saying that again.
It's not happening.
And you're gonna
this
say
year.
it next season. You're gonna say, oh, I can't keep up. I can't see them. I've never seen somebody move this fast. And it's like, you do that every season, and then it gets old.
I think animators and writers now are not afraid to knock the top person off the horse, because it's much more endearing to see somebody who has it all fall, because there's either a recovery period, or you pass the torch, or someone else rises up. And the theme nowadays, I feel like in society, or not even to toot my own horn, but even in kitchens, like there's a passing of generations that happen all the time. I think this is a very, very interesting concept that show is portraying differently than anything else has before. And that's what's pushing it forward. I think, back to your question again, though, what makes him a good main character and supporting cast and a villain, and another one that's doing it is Demon Slayer.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I say that Demon Slayer has definitely going to be one of maybe top 15. I'm going to say top 15 because there's probably other ones that we can mention. The beginning itself attracts the eye. No, it's not the art.
Does the beginning attract the eye?
Okay.
No, the first like 5-10 minutes, I was like, what is this? Like,
actually,
all these characters.
That's the reason why one of my
all
coworkers
these
stopped
characters are,
watching.
like, all these shows of little kids that I don't want to watch.
But
and then he was like, oh.
But what did we witness, though? At the end, we saw the main character, his support cast, which is family. You know what I'm saying? Family who he trying to protect and love and try to find a cure for. Motive. A main character with motive is definitely something that always attract the viewers. You know what I'm saying? And then his support cast is like this dude that's the 11th water form? What?
Remorse.
He was like, whoa, I thought there was only 10. He has 11.
He had...
He doesn't know.
And then I was like, what? And then the boys started using a fire technique by mistake. It was by mistake too. I love that. He involved that. But then it's the villain. And not because he's bad like Michael Jackson bad. No, this guy is like...
Well, he's definitely Michael Jackson.
Not because he's immortal. They missed out. One more time for the mic.
I said until the last episode.
Facts. They always die at the last. This dude had planned out his whole life, and he always like a car. He always take out old piece and put in new piece in order for his organization to work. I mean, like, how can you not like that type of concept, that type of like process, that the work, you know what I'm saying? That's the word. The work.
But in the very beginning, you didn't know that was happening at all.
No.
You saw the same tragedy, motivation, reasons to fight, and survive. Right?
And survive. But what I think
the pacing after that, I've never seen.
His teacher, it's just like once he
was it a year on the mountain?
2
years.
2 years for him to slice. Spoiler alert! But 2 years to be able to slice the boulder by a spirit of his past students. What? You know how symbolic that was? And I was like, yo, who are these kids? Why are they there? And then when you find out what happened to them, you're like, mic drop.
Right, like
I'm not gonna drop the mic right now, but that's what happened.
Tragic, like everything is tragic. Like you look at the quote unquote like bad guys, the demons.
Okay.
And what
We've
they
seen
do.
demons plenty of times
Right.
before, but
You feel bad for all of these guys.
You do.
Like when they get killed, it's like, oh, finally they get to rest. Like they never
such
wanted to
a
do
good
these things, right? And all of the fights have been, I'm like, all right, it's guys with swords. I've seen this before. How can you make it original? How can you be?
How
like,
could you
what?
be Samurai X?
Right, and it's like, no, like all the movements, the villains, the guy with the drums. That's still like one of my favorite fights. Like
Really?
Right, because you're like, how is this guy gonna fight? Like, how is he
Banging the drums.
Right, but then the way he had powers over the whole house,
that fight was incredible.
it was like you never see what's gonna happen. Like, how's he gonna counter that?
Also, the main character has to have like an IQ way higher than 100. You know what I'm saying? No offense to Asta, but can we say Goku maybe? Can we say Goku?
Goku's an idiot.
Goku is an idiot. I like my main character at least be smart or above in a sense like Dr. Stone. You know what I'm saying? Like you make it interest, make us dumb folks feel like, oh wow, I never thought about it like that before. You know what I'm saying? I think
smart in ways.
attack the mind.
Yeah, they're smart. Like he Tanjiro's smart in ways, but he's still an idiot.
I
In what
think
way?
He's a little naive.
Ooh.
I think he's a little naive.
He's not an idiot. He's definitely young, naive, and he's definitely not as smart as someone next to him in certain ways. You know what I mean?
Lightning Kid.
That kid's got issues. That kid's really got issues. The fact you can do one move, but you can do it the best. I mean, again, that's awesome character development and support character right there, though. Because if he was good at everything else, why would you have Tanjiro as main character?
Ooh.
You got this one guy that's got a one-off next to you. You got another one that's a hothead who's strong, but he just has no direction whatsoever.
In the face of a girl.
Yeah, you have to point him. He's like Zoro. He has no compass
That is a
whatsoever.
little bit odd, right?
I don't know. They're trying to make everything, equality. So
No. What I mean is like the fact that he has like this. He
Face
lives
of a
in the
female?
Mountains, right? And then
He
he's
was
had a
dropped-
rough life,
he was dropped
But he has-
off a cliff like Moses,
but he has
and then he was raised by boars.
but he has a beautiful face, and it's like if you ever spend like 5 days in the woods without a shower, you don't look beautiful at all. I don't care who you are, like you just don't.
I mean, beauty is the eye of the beholder, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Got smooth skin. I don't know what to tell you.
Like, he found a leaf that he used as, like,
Maybe
to dry
he
off.
just- Maybe he just fell in mud and just been exfoliating for years.
Maybe
All
he found the
natural.
anti-cream by mistake and just, like, rub it in,
I mean, either way, he's definitely a pretty motherfucker.
He definitely is. But in the villain side, guys, what also makes a good villain for you? For me, I'm going to stay in, going back to my hero, this guy really spoke to my spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Stain. Like, that dude right there.
Was he really a villain or was he an anti-hero?
I mean,
Was he Batman?
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm going to say he was definitely a mix of villainous with anti-hero. Because he was like in the borderline of evil, but he had a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Chop that head off. I'm sorry. You just watch him chop that head off.
Oh man! Oh, we're watching one of the scenes from Demon Slayer.
You hug your neck because you're so fat and you're still gonna cut through it. Yeah, took your arms off with your fucking head.
And I think that was form number 1 that he used.
Just water slash.
Oh, we're watching all of them. Oh, nice. We're watching some clips from Demon Slayer, which was pretty dope. I think this is the first time he like combined the 6th form with the second one to make this kind of tsunami.
Fighting underwater with was it like twins or triplets?
So yeah, to me, while we're watching this, Stain definitely showed that not all villains are bad person, but they go against the morality that portray of a hero, and he definitely brought truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about him. Those final words that he said on camera that inspire every villain to arise
Make a move.
and make them. Yo, I saw, and I'm not really comparing to him, but it was just like I had a dream type of speech. You know what I'm saying? It really impacted a group of people to try to do a change and see a difference in their community. And that's why we're in season 4. That's why we're going to see what happened with the new number 1 hero and why he is da 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 da. I can't say nothing about it. I promise these guys I won't say nothing. But I'm just saying, like, this is why
He knows manga things.
I
Don't
do.
Don't spoil it.
Hey, you know about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, so
Right, because the Dragon Ball community is one of the worst communities. So you have to be up to.
Oh,
what
the Attack on Titans is the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, I did not know about Paradise Island before this is way before the anime, and I was already exposed to Paradise Island. And I'm like, why would he do this? Oh, I thought you was reading the manga. No, Mari, I was not.
Damn, Mari,
Call them out.
you fucked up.
Like right now she's doing her tour. Hope she return in safe and sound and stuff. But yeah, you ruined that for me, and I really messed that up for me for Attack on Titan. So Attack on Titan community sucks. That's for sure. They suck. If you don't believe me, trust me.
Oh, I believe you. That's one of those things. Like sometimes people are like, do you watch My Hero Academia? Yeah, I love it. Like I've been watching this in season 1. Oh, are you caught up with the manga? No. Like stop right now. Like, oh, but you need to know what happened. No, like I don't need to know what happens. I just want to be surprised.
Go for it.
I just, you saying that. Is there something wrong with watching both the anime and the manga?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But I know that I'm not gonna be able to keep up at the
So
moment.
why do manga people? And not to say I don't read manga either. I probably read more Marvel and DC than I do read manga. I have my manga in my house, obviously, so I have my hard copies. I like hard copies of it. But people that read it online every week, much respect to you for your dedication, because I very rarely stay current with One Piece and manga. But I mean, is it really fair to be like, oh, you don't read the manga? Well, I mean, I wait every other week or every week to see the anime. True. Like, why would you walk up and try to ruin that for me?
We waited 3 years for a new season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah, and then they started firing off shots a year apart in between each other and giving us really good stuff.
And the crazy part is I'm not gonna. I want the viewers to know there's more than what we just saw in the end of season 3, and it's something that is really gonna piss you off, but yet excite you at the same time. And that's how terrible, again, the Attack on Titan community is.
I agree with you. I don't think you could really tell anybody about where the animation has left off. If you could tell somebody who hasn't seen it before about what happens at the end of that, it still wouldn't make sense.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean? You could spoil it, but it'll be like, how the hell do you lead up to that? And there's no way to know that until the last 2 episodes.
Right.
With the last 2 episodes were dropping bombs right at the end. Like, the last final words that were said in text, I was just like, what? like, sorry, this is gonna be like probably not a spoiler-free kind of thing at some point, but I mean, when you start talking about time and memories, you start to get involved in some really convoluted shit where you really have to have a good explanation at the end, and if you don't have one, oh man, we just got done talking about Sword Art Online.
Yeah. Why we brought her back?
We're never gonna let it go.
Oh God, it really impacted our life that big. But with this being said, and also being again, shout out to everybody again returning to the show. When we say of this upcoming season, all right, let's be real. For this upcoming season, what are we trying to introduce to our listener? What changes do you think they're gonna hear from us? What do you think is gonna make our show compared to others that might be like, you know what, Providence is the place to be at? Not really, but you know, just
The anime scene's pretty hot right now in the past 2 years.
Amazing, dude. I mean, I've said it before. Like when I used to be one of those guys that's like, oh, I hate Providence. Like I can't wait to get out of here. And you leave, you go somewhere else.
If you don't hate your hometown,
Right.
You better.
And you experience like different things, and then you come back home and you're like, man, I just love how everything is so close here, and you get to experience a little bit of everything, right? And everything is like very close. It sucks when you got to drive like an hour and a half to see.
Yeah, I've lived out of state, and you know, when something's like literally an hour away, like in Florida, it I don't know, it definitely creates distance. I mean, but what are you trying to get at though? Everything being close here, exactly. Like
it's not just like oh, it's convenient, I can go here or there. Like it's just a very diverse.
Yeah,
area.
absolutely, definitely diverse.
You get a lot of really good food here.
Talk about diversity. Yeah, no, let me get started on the food. But what to expect going forward? I mean, conversations as such like this. I mean, whoever's going out and talk about anime. I mean, anybody else that does like anime podcasts and stuff like this guy. I mean, he starts off with an animated version of himself, and you know, gives you breakdowns. But the whole way, I don't know. His name is. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say his name because I mean, Anime Uproar.
There we go. We said it.
We said it.
We said it.
I mean, we just said, you know, watching this guy. Hey, great format and all, but I mean, I don't feel in touch with him when I do watch him. And a lot of times it's just a lot of filler talk. He like for the first 3 minutes, he's talking about what he's going to talk about later on. Like,
and he's going to repeat it
over and over and over.
At the end, we're going to do a recap of that.
Yeah.
To make sure you get your 10 minutes.
And as I said in the first 5 minutes, like, nah, you're not going to get that here. You're going to get a raw conversation about something that you like. And I mean, if you like anime, that's why you're watching this or listening.
A lot of opinions from different people, different upbringings.
Because, I mean, this represents aspects of our life. You know, it's something that we've all enjoyed and brought together with each other. And I get together with friends and watch this stuff. Me and my roommate watch this stuff on religiously. Like, if there's an episode that drops and I'm not home and he's not home, I don't watch it just because you're waiting for that next episode to come from last week, and you want to have that instant, like, wow factor. Even if it's a tiny tiny little filler episode that's linking to a bigger plot, like, those pieces end up adding up, and they create a build-up and suspense, and you want to know where the plot's going. You know what I mean? That, being able to just talk in that aspect as if we were watching an episode together, you know, that's what we're trying to go for here.
Definitely. And, you know, just because we don't like a certain show, but if you do, just let us know. Let us know why we're
wrong. Absolutely. And, voice up.
Yeah, I mean, or if there's something that we're not covering that you really want to talk about.
Yeah, anything that you hear and, like, we, you know, didn't touch on it, by all means, let us know. I'll be more than happy to say something about it. We're just a bunch of, like, 30-year-olds getting together, talking about anime.
About us and Roland, because I don't think Josh went to Mount. We all went to the same high school, graduated the same year, and then, you know, I don't think we all went to our 10-year anniversary.
I did.
Reunion, excuse me.
Yeah, I went.
I saw you in the video. You did go.
I did.
There was a lot of reasons why I didn't go.
I showed up like in the last hour.
Word.
And I just walked in, and there were a lot of people drunk on stage singing, and I was like, oh, okay, it's like that. All right, cool.
Nothing changed, huh?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. There were not as many people as I thought there would be. But it's kind of, I mean, it's nice we all have gone different paths.
Yes, sir.
Coming back and just talking about what we love. And I mean, the other guy is Josh. I've been good friends with him for close to 10 years now. And he loves mechas. Like, when you guys get to hear all the stuff that he loves, like, he loves mechas. That's his main thing when it comes to animes. Like, yeah.
That's his main focus. And what you're also going to be able to witness too is that we're not just going to split into different sectors. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely going to be able to relate certain things out of anime, so that way you guys know that our interest is not only for our audience to be captivated by what we see, by popularity, but there are other elements in this world, in our community, in our universe that we think might enlighten you too, with fitness. Josh is a freaking beast on that. Health, Juan, that's one of his profession. Josh does a lot of traveling, and Rollerman, that guy has wisdom of a 50-year-old man inside of a 30-year man body. You know what I'm saying? And me, I'm just like, I'm Josh. You know what I'm saying? But you could call me Jay. But what I'm trying to say is, you're definitely gonna get more element that is going to make you want to be part of our show. You know what I'm saying? And once we start expanding, you'll definitely see us face to face, interact with us. Please hug us, talk to us. You know what I'm saying? We would like to hear your voices for sure. Now, the moment of truth, the lined up. Unless if you
Don't touch me.
don't touch JL, okay? If you see him in the street, don't.
A friendly handshake, that works.
Fair.
I mean,
I guess I'm the hugger in the group, but
you go for it.
yeah, we gotta
Catch something from hugs, bro.
you
otakus, I don't trust you with hugs. No offense. Everywhere. If you're not
Juan is yelling, it's flu season. But the point is that we're
Did you guys
trying.
see the vaccinated South Park episode?
What?
Is it new?
South Park's going hard at China right now. I just wanna say
Stop
that
it.
part, too.
After the Dolphins and seeing the actual NFL Dolphins is just like fucking hilarious to
That
me right now.
episode was nuts.
That comparison,
I remember that shit.
and you see the organic that we have when it comes to conversation. It's something that you guys are gonna really enjoy. But the moment of truth, the lineup that we're going to be talking about throughout our season, and add-ons later on. Definitely, as we already mentioned, with no hesitation, it's My Hero Academia. You're definitely going to be hearing us bringing certain episodes, certain idealism, all our thoughts about that show, manga reader, non-manga reader, to make sure we're all in the same realm. We're definitely going to be talking about Demon Slayer once it returns, but the other show is Black Clover.
Definitely.
Because I read the manga as well, and it's so much awesome that I'm really impressed on how it is going true to the manga. That's Sweatergy it is, or Buddha.
It's definitely a slow build, but it is so true to it no matter what, and that's a beautiful thing, because you know what you're going to get in the next part, and the next part, and the next part if you've read it. So,
are we going to talk about Food Wars?
am I the only one that's seen Food Wars?
I'm assuming you're not the only one, because I'm only on season 2. But I could definitely catch up.
Yeah, you got a ways to go. If I said anything about it right now, it'd kind of fuck it all up. I'm not going to.
I mean, after they already passed all the perverted type of expression and stuff, I'm already like...
No, it's not over yet. There's
Word?
more. Yeah.
Way more?
They kind of tone it down a little bit, but when it happens, I mean, you obviously expect it. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched as much Food Wars.
All right,
So,
so
but look,
let's say,
like
let's just say
He's
you.
gonna give you this synopsis of it. It's really, it should be
Let's say we went in my fridge and I had nothing, and then I made something out of nothing, and you ate it, and it was just like so unbelievably amazing that your clothes flew off as you ate it, and in the background expressed as like kind of like stand portrayal in some animes where it's not actually there, but it's happening, and you're just like, women will cream fucking waterfalls and shit out of themselves, angel wings and everything. Like just real redonkulous type of stuff. But the crazy part, and as a chef I can say this, is that those recipes work. I've made quite a few of the main characters' recipes, and they're pretty true. Pretty true. The only thing I can say is really unrealistic is the fact that like the amount of time some of them take. Like there's no way he did that shit in a half hour.
Oh no.
Like it would have taken.
Time skip.
Yeah. Super time. Well, no, just unrealistic. Like they I don't know how time is not managed very well in that anime, but you just kind of learn to love it for what it is, anyways.
Yes. Fair enough. So Juan.
I mean, we definitely got to talk about some of those old animes that we watched.
Oh no! Those are part of our conversation for sure.
definitely.
But when it comes to like certain, like yo, remember? Have you been watching this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We, something that brings along to our.
There's a lot of. I mean, there's so much to talk about. When you say anime, there's so much.
So far, like I said, My Hero. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I said Black Clover. I mentioned Food Wars because they just came out with the new season. I'm talking about Dr. Stone.
I love Dr. Stone.
He loves Dr. Stone.
It's just kind of.
He loves Dr.
It's
Stone.
kind of like the same way that you're talking about, like, oh yeah, you could make food this way, but Dr. Stone's like, you can make all these other things. You want to blow up a house? Let's blow up a house. Like,
And then get something beneficial out of blowing the house up. What's your favorite part about Dr. Stone? Name one favorite part. It could be the character. It could be a mechanic of the anime. It could just be a small little thing. What's your favorite? I know exactly what my favorite part of it is.
My favorite part is like
because Demon Slayer does the same exact thing they do.
How excited he gets when he's like, hey, I want to make something work. And then he sees it work, right? And then he sees it work. And you go through it. It's like if you ever had to learn something by yourself, like you have to learn like, hey, like I'm gonna do something in the house. I'm gonna repair something, or I'm gonna cook something, or I'm gonna fix something in your car. You're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've read about it, and then it works. Like, it's awesome.
That's a pretty good point. I actually like that as well. And it's like no one knows what's going to happen around him because they've never seen science before.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah, it's a good. It's one little tiny thing about it, and it's when something is going on in the foreground, in the background, or very, very quickly, they will hit you with animation of a character that you don't expect. Like their faces sometimes.
Yes.
They are fucking hilarious. They really, really are. Like when
They
girl
call that girl a gorilla.
Yeah, dude. Or anytime the little girl takes the watermelon off of her head and she gets like real like wrinkled face or some shit like that. Yo, me and my roommate die when that happens. It is hilarious. They ever have old faces, or one of the episodes they got like some JoJo animation on and it looked just like Jotaro's face, and I was like, oh, there it is again, showing up. Come on.
Jotaro is JoJo Bizarre definitely is up there. I gotta finish.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I've only watched part one. And I'm.
You didn't hear me that well.
If you didn't know, he's not caught up with JoJo's. This guy.
Hey, listen, I've only watched part one because for a long time I watched the old JoJo, whatever that was.
Oh, the first one.
Like
not the first one that's right now. The one before the first one.
And I watched like the first 12 episodes.
That's just lost.
Yeah, I watched like the first 12 episodes, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
That wasn't executed right at all.
Right, like there's one female character that has like one line. It's all a bunch of dudes, like old men, just like. I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then you were like, you have to watch this thing on Netflix. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. And I watched one episode and I was hooked. I was like, whoa, this is good.
Easily. It's so good. It is so ridiculous that it's so good.
What scene did he watch?
There was like an older version.
You don't know what he's talking about?
Well, I know Jonathan.
So
No.
So
it's Jonathan, Joseph, Jotaro, and then the other two after.
So you're thinking story arcs. So when I think it was part one, they released animation for it back in the 80s. All right, before the part one that you can watch nowadays, sequential with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just stopped airing it eventually because it was just not that good.
Awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. And they also animated part 3 a little differently at some point as well. There's 2 before the redone that you can watch on Crunchyroll and Netflix now, but it was just lost to the wind. And then eventually they came out again and brought part 1 in the 90s, and then part 2 got animated eventually as well later on. Part 3 didn't get animated until a few years ago, not that long ago. So it took a while for it to pick up steam, for it to be where it is, because it almost got lost in the archives at some point.
So
It is huge now. Like it is like when I
I'm gonna show you what we're talking about.
I mean, like you can definitely show that, but I'm also gonna be doing the outro pretty soon too.
Yeah.
So,
We'll end on that.
so if there's more JoJo, we'll definitely be watching that for sure. I'm gonna say, Dragon Ball. Yeah, Dragon Ball. When are you gonna release those 14 episodes of anime? Because I'm really trying to see what happened after the Brawly movie. You know what I'm saying?
I hope that's not coming out for a while.
Why?
Because I'm just hoping that they go more.
We waited for
the manga. The
year.
manga is not like perfect, but it's much better than the
But-
show. But I just mean the animation. I just hope the animation gets better. So if they take their time to make it, there's also a couple of the voice actors that have passed away. The Japanese voice actors.
Oh, actually, you mentioned that. Shout out to Ash. After 24 years, he finally won a championship.
Oh, shout out to Ash. Those.
Good job, dude.
That was not the way I wanted him to win, but whatever. Last season, I would have liked him to win when he went against the Mega Charizard. Yeah, that's what I would have liked to see.
And then supposedly, like the new phase, there's gonna be a new phase who's gonna be like
Right. So the
journey,
new anime.
and Ash is gonna be left behind.
So the new
running the league.
Like I don't really like the anime that
Spoiler
much.
all over in the show, guys.
I don't really like the anime that much, but I like the games.
Fair.
And so now finally they're gonna reboot the show. It's gonna have Ash and another kid who are going to start their Pokemon journey or whatever. Ash's goal is gonna be to be the very best, like always. But the other kid's goal is gonna be to catch every Pokemon. And that's not it.
No, that's not it at all.
I mean, if you, that I will watch, but that I don't. Oh,
It's just a clip by
It's a bunch of JoJo's like integrated with memes, basically.
Oh my gosh, JoJo. Fair. We definitely probably gonna be doing better next time. But other than that, shout out to Ash, the storyline kid. Want to catch every Pokemon.
every Pokemon,
Good luck
but it's
finding
gonna
Mewtwo.
be right. I mean, good luck finding
Articuno.
just anything legendary or like you can't just.
Like the legendary dogs. Remember playing that in Silver and Gold, and that thing took
Yes.
nearly like your
Right.
whole day, not actually life, in order to.
Took a while to get those legendary animals. Took a long time.
Yeah.
And then if you're like going to your third or fourth gym battle, and then the dog just showed up, and you'd be like, "Oh no,
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready."
I killed it.
Oh my god.
That's the word. Yeah.
I thought I was such a boss.
Hey, listen.
I remember when I first killed my first Articuno.
Yeah.
I was in a hospital overnight,
Did you save the game though?
and I had to keep swapping out
Did
batteries.
you save the game?
Did you save the game?
Oh, I continued on.
Wow.
Oh,
that's
No one told me.
he man up his mistake. He
I
was
did.
like, I'm
I
gonna
caught
live with
2
these
out of 3.
consequences.
I had Zapdos and Moltres.
I came across in Silver, the remake for the DS. I didn't really know how to like shiny hunt back then, so I just started playing, and then I finally came across. I've gotten a lot better now. So I came across
I bet.
the shiny Butterfree. So I came across around a shiny
You like,
Butterfree.
look for like dimes and quarters. Is that
Like
what's
that is its own little video of how to shiny hunt it.
Bird.
Right. But I came across this beautiful shiny Butterfree pink, and I one-shot it because my team was like way overpowered. Like I just killed it and I was like, wow. Like that was it.
You're legendary.
Yeah, you're the boss for.
No, that
murdering a
was
shiny
really
Butterfree.
dumb.
Yeah, I still don't know what Juan is talking about when it comes to shiny.
Somebody out there knows.
Yeah, they know. I finished after what's after Johto? With Chinchar.
Yeah, I don't it's
Tortoise.
like I've said, the games are good, the anime is just awful.
Whoa, you started way before that?
When did I stop?
You probably had to stop
Gen
after
1,
Silver.
Kanto.
No.
Kanto?
No. I didn't start
No.
Gen 1. No, I stopped.
No,
I think
about Johto though.
I think I thoroughly enjoyed Sapphire and Ruby a lot more than anything else after it.
Yeah. That's a really. What is
No,
this?
That's Torchwood.
What are we watching?
That's just some anime fight scenes.
I like whatever this is. I like this.
So basically, the girl has a sword stabbed into her arm. That is her arm, and she just like killed 10 people.
You said that like you've seen this.
Well, no, because she just did it during the intro while we were talking.
Oh.
Like
This guy's bleeding out in like his shin.
because she sliced him. Look, the sword is right there.
Oh,
Wait,
she
whoa,
doesn't
what
have
is
arms.
this?
Oh
Oh
my
my-
god. Wow.
How do you go to the bathroom like
Just
that?
turned up real quick.
Dude,
She doesn't.
air.
So she's like Kim Jong Young. He just doesn't go to the bathroom.
That's a scythe.
Oh!
That's a human scyther.
Oh my god, it is.
Jesus.
Connections. Jeez. Oh.
And they're so precise.
I mean, all she has to do is
But
she doesn't have to worry about getting cut on her arms because she doesn't have any.
But like the way how she she doesn't bend them or anything. She just focus on certain stuff. Oh, we're really watching this.
Tensei Shitara Slime. Anytime the word slime is in a title, I'm not watching it.
I don't remember this episode. Wait, this is.
If
out.
anybody is curious about my stance on animes, if you put Reborn, Slime, or anything of the sort,
High school girls.
This is out.
I'm out. High school girls, I'm out. Like,
This is a spoiler for me. What? No.
what?
this looks sick. Whatever this is good.
When I was reincarnated as a slime.
Oh, that's what
That's
this
not
is?
this. No, it's
Yeah,
not
this is
that.
it. Yeah, it
No,
is.
but that.
Oh, is it? Oh, they
That
just said it
anime-
in Japanese right there for you.
Yeah, but that
Oh.
anime, that's real quick.
Oh.
The girl that's fighting, basically, she was summoned to that universe. Well, she passed and she became summoned for the demons warrior, basically.
We'll just go past that fight for you. I didn't know.
Because like I thought the season was over. I didn't knew it rebooted
Oh.
so quickly.
So this,
What I wanted to get to.
Mob Psycho 100. Yo, I gotta give a shout out to Roland and definitely to JL shaking your hand right here on camera because that show is my shit. Yo, not this scene, but the other fight before that,
season 1 or season 2?
season 2.
I still haven't watched season 2. But
What?
Me neither.
Kinda not paying attention.
Me neither.
What? Well, so skip it because I already know what happened on this.
That's all right.
Dude, Mob Psycho, at first, I was like, this is such a boring One Punch reboot type of, show.
It was done by the same.
Same creator,
It was
man.
done by
Same
the
creator.
That's why I started watching it because you brought that up. And then once I started going, I think it was after episode 5, and I saw like how the plot twisted and it gets really good. And when I mean good, I meant like you see a whole different character coming out of this puny little boy with powerful ability that he don't understand, and he's an idiot. He's
an idiot.
He's an idiot, but when he goes 100%, he goes 100.
Yeah, he does.
I'm like,
Godly stuff.
oh,
Even better. You know what I ended up really liking?
what?
His boss.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's
He's such
boss.
a con man.
You're
Because
gonna be so laughing at him in season 2. You're gonna be laughing. You don't have to be that close to me. You're gonna be laughing so.
no,
hard.
what I meant is like his boss. I thought his boss was like the biggest idiot, right? But like
Yes!
like a confident idiot. But then when he goes, "Hey, listen, you
When
don't
he's real
have to
talk.
deal. You don't have to deal with this pain.
humanizes
Like
him.
I'm gonna take care of it. You don't have to do these kind of things." That was great. That's an adult moment right there.
That's a super adult.
That's an adult moment.
He dumb it. I mean, he made him more humanized, sure, but at the same time, it's like he played him. And when the time again, season 2, so much to talk about, and like, oh, that part right there.
This show is on the opposite side of the spectrum to what we're getting at, though.
True.
It is something that in the very beginning, and I think One Punch Man is like the solid top offender of this, is that you start off with everything.
OP.
And then, you start off super OP, and then you just coast on that, and then you develop it later. Is that real? I think when you execute it right, it's really good. I think a lot of animes have done that in the past, and they're not that good.
I mean, the creator of both One Punch and Mob
Nailed
Psycho
it.
nailed it
Every
and,
time.
And like every time when I see Mob Psycho, I'd be like, "Yo, thank you, Roland, thank you, Josh," because honestly, I did not know.
Animation's incredible.
Yo, the storyline is funny and like when
I'm at no part where the story makes any type of like
this
impact on me.
no.
So.
It's funny. That's all I gotta say about that. But when it comes to the fighting
That
scenes,
green dude's funny as hell. Yes, he is. That green
oh
dude's
my!
funny as fuck.
And when you thought he's dead, he's not. Oh, Seven Deadly Sin, the movie.
About this too when he comes back. We have to.
I thought the season 3 already started.
No, you mean the new season when he comes back. There's a new season. That's
2.5 isn't season 3.
Yeah.
Really? No way. I thought he already faced Pride.
Season 2, that's like 3-4 episodes.
He just put gigantic quotes in between season 2.
They have season
I've never
2
seen bigger quotes in
that
my
is
life.
like 4 episodes. That is nothing. It's kind of like, hey, I know you want to know what's going on, and we're kind of like behind schedule. So this is what you get.
Yeah. All day.
And then season 3 is really season.
Is this one of
2.
those fights from there, or is this from the real season?
Is
Oh, this is the movie. I didn't even know they had.
is this on Netflix?
I don't think the movie is.
I don't recall.
No. Okay. Yeah, this looks sick. Okay.
Call of Duty just
What?
finished downloading. I'm so hyped right
Oh,
now.
I didn't. I did reserve it, but I didn't get it.
I just saw that notification. Woo!
Yeah.
If you online, you want to play some Call of Duty, come get it.
Same, but tomorrow, not tonight. I gotta go to work.
But I mean,
No responsibility.
I know we want to wrap this up.
I mean, but this is still good right there, and this is also part of like the new season. It's like anything could happen.
I just want to touch on the difference between the animes that we're getting now and the ones that we used to get. The character development is a lot different, but there's similar patterns in what we're seeing in a lot of them.
I think Yu Hakusho got it on the first try.
That's in a league of its own. That's like Cowboy Bebop territory.
Right, and also it's one of those. It's one of those.
I see what you did with Boom Car.
Yeah, boom.
It's
I thought that Cowboy Bebop also didn't. They had some scene like they were about to die, but then on the next episode they're like, "Oh,
They're all short stories.
oh, okay, that's what it is."
See, when you give somebody in the beginning, you like this is what you're getting. You're gonna get a bunch of short stories. Okay, it's not gonna be congruent except characters existing. There's gonna be no main plot. That's perfectly fine. If you've ever watched what is it? It's like Gintama. Have you ever watched Gintama? Even like a few times?
yes,
You've tried it, right?
yes.
It's Japan's anime comedy. That's exactly what that show is, and every time it's just gonna be something different. And the main character, he's a badass samurai, and when he starts to fight, some crazy fight scenes. But at the end of the day, they're just trying to make people laugh. They're not trying to make themselves too serious. I think that's what Mob Psycho was kind of doing in its own way. If I've watched enough of it, maybe I can't say that, but I think it's decent comedy. I think that's what One Punch Man brings as well. But then you have animes that are like super duper serious, like My Hero at times, like the opening of episode 2.
Right.
Holy shit. But the episode before that gave you some lighthearted. This guy's like mind blown by what he's watching at the moment. Meliodas is a bad man. I just don't think he's top ranked still.
I think he needed to.
Is this like one of the first times that we see like there's a team of guys, they seem to be older, and then the main character is the short one? Am I wrong about this? Because I always find that
No, he
so
is.
odd.
But he's actually really old too.
Right, like he's really old. Like all the other ones, like if you watch Naruto, like all right, he's a kid. Oh no, this is good.
This is gonna be super spoily.
Wait, are you that far? Because
No, this
I'm
is-
okay with this.
okay.
Look, I love watching this
You're
fight.
about to see Snake Man, One Piece fans, Snake Man, Gear 4 against Katakuri.
Gear 4.
Yes,
Gear 4.
there is a Gear 4, man.
You've never even seen Gear 2, have you?
I don't know what.
When you watch Gear 2,
No.
dude, that is one of the the best episodes.
My Spanish is nice.
Yeah.
So he turned from Luffy to Snake Man.
No,
It's
it's a name.
it is a name, but his form eventually. I mean, he's the One Piece. All right, like 900 episodes later, the plot has finally become something that we have some understanding. But when it comes to like their powers and stuff, they've been very, very quiet on some of them. The one that they're open about is Hockey. Hockey is what you see when they have the armament around them. Okay. So that's what that black stuff is.
And there's like 3 different hackies, right?
There
like,
is his observation. Was it their observation? There's the Conqueror's Hockey, and then there's the physical like shields and armament that they use. The observation one is like to detect movement and like sense anybody.
And the Conqueror one is the one that you can actually stop anybody that is like way weaker.
They're like lower-minded individuals. The NPCs, basically. He'll just knock out a field of enemies. He did it in Fishman Island. He just takes everybody out. And then the other one is the one that you see there. And the thing is about Luffy, if no one knows again about One Piece, is that you eat a fruit in this world, and when you eat a fruit, you get a power. And with that power comes a trade-off that you can't swim. And in their world, it's nothing but an oceanic world filled with pirates. So you're on the water all the time. The thing is with Luffy is that he's made of rubber. So the concepts of rubber are highly overlooked. And this is why he's my favorite fucking character next to Zoro. Is because, I mean, he can like create friction with his blood somehow and just move quicker. And like,
they really put this in the top.
Why wouldn't they?
It was a really good fight.
But think about like
animation,
rubber being metallic,
yeah,
can like bend and shit.
The One Piece.
This one,
Gogeta versus Broly.
I mean, that animation was turned up.
Dude, they were like in a different dimension at some point in this fight.
They
like,
were,
yeah.
I don't know where they, Gogeta.
Like this gave me more questions than answers. Like,
I think they opened up something and this is not going to tell us for a long time. It was nuts though. That was so worth going to the theater for.
I did too.
It was so worth it.
When we went, me and Udi, shout out to Udi. Basically, though, the theater was empty because we were.
Yeah, mine too.
Because it was like one of the final week that they're gonna have the movie on the lineup.
Yo, the My Hero theater was packed.
That was one of the worst experiences I ever had in a movie.
About that story real quick.
Yo,
forget about the outro.
So like, I went to watch the movie with the other Josh Monty, and so he's like, hey, let's go. We showed up like 5 minutes early. You know, we go to Providence, and it's like This is like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, whatever it was. It was like opening night that it came out.
Showing, or?
No, it was the first one,
okay.
Right? So we go, we get snacks. We're 5 minutes early. They're still watching trailers. We walked in, and there's nothing but like the seats right at the front. So I'm like, whatever, man. Like, I just wanna, I just wanna sit. So we go and we sit, and like maybe like I'm here, Josh is here, and then there's like 2 kids right there. Like, and I called them kids. I mean, they were like teenagers, and they were like
it's
very.
Okay, you're old. They're kids.
Right, they are kids. They were like very excited. So you know how like you watch the movie and you already know what.
Oh look,
you know?
it's the worst lead character ever.
And that's better than Dragon Ball or anything else or One Piece. What?
Ooh.
What? Are we?
I'm gonna throw this mic.
What
at
is
you.
this?
It's Sword Art.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right. So we go over there, and then there's this kid, and he was just very excited about watching this movie. And, you know, All Might shows up, I am here. And the kid will be like, I am here. Right? Like, he was all excited. And I'm looking at him like, all right, man. Like, it's the first 2 minutes of the movie. It's fine. And then an hour went by, and the kid was still with the same energy, clapping, screaming, repeating the lines. Like repeating the lines about everything.
Direct reincarnate of Midoriya in the flesh.
Yes, like worst. Except that he didn't know when to shut up. He felt no shame, and the whole time like it got to a point where it's like I think Josh just kind of like muted out, and he was like, "I'm gonna fall asleep," because this man works like crazy hours. And he was just like, "I'm out," like just for a few minutes. Like he just like out, like he's zoned out.
Yeah, this is definitely worth the top 10.
This right here, yeah, this was great.
Damn.
Right. It was just like a really bad experience. Everything else was great. But you know what? I was happy that like an anime.
What's worse than that though? Is it the person that's laughing at the jokes that aren't that funny? No. Or is it the kid standing up screaming, I am here? Is it really?
But those two are the same person.
They are the same person. One's going to grow into the other. And you can decide which way he's going to go.
I just, you know, I just think that at the end of the day, I was happy because I was like, when I was a teenager, they weren't showing anything like this. And just to see like a full movie theater. Every single seat. Like after we sat,
Never been done
even
before.
even the rows at the front
For us
were
to watch a
completely
movie,
full.
We had to wait for the VHS to show.
Right. You had to go on LimeWire and download it, and it was like a VHS.
Am I the only one that went to go see Pokemon in the movie theaters?
I was still in Guatemala, so I didn't watch
I
it.
saw,
Yeah.
I saw Pokemon like in elementary school. Because the teacher that had nothing to do with us, so they'd be like, "Oh, I rented out Pokemon for my kids, so let me show."
So you didn't go see it at the theater?
No,
Isn't
teacher, she went to Blockbuster and had the movie in hand.
Well, we're really showing our age right here. Blockbuster. When you used to go to school and they could be like, I don't want to do anything, and they would just show us a movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
How many of those teachers were just like hungover? Like,
Oh, I don't know about hunger.
Never even thought about that.
I think they were just not prepared.
Hey, this period is nap time.
Yeah.
We're gonna rest.
lights down.
Why do we have to turn the lights off?
Yeah.
Or 7-Up. Like, okay, guys, we're gonna play 7-Up. Put your heads down.
One
Thumbs
day,
up.
one day, I will tell you.
You
One
hear
day,
nobody walking around in the room at all, no motion.
one day, I will tell you a great story about something that I found out about one of our high school teachers after I graduated from high school. But
Really?
yeah,
Is it
like
the art teacher?
no,
RIP?
no. Which one? Which one? R.I.P.
Who died?
Mr. Perry.
Oh, that's
Who
right.
was that one?
Yeah.
The small, older dude.
Oh, I don't.
Girls will always creep out of him.
They had every
Nah.
right to be
That's the
freaked out.
one. That's the scene. Oh, yes.
What scene is this?
This
Whoa.
This is the battle scene that said, like, this is the...
Oh my God! He just went Call of Duty.
No. Oh,
That was first person.
What is this?
Yo?
This is the...
What is it? What is it with the dudes with
One
their
Piece.
eyes closed and the smiles,
Oh.
always whooping ass?
Right.
Well, okay, so we're watching...
Except for Brock.
We're watching an episode from season 2. I think this is episode 9. Where, to me, this is the episode of Mob Psycho 100. Because this guy went off, and once, I'm not going to say much, but this scene, oh my God. I love this. I knew this made it to the top list. He killed them. That's the best part. He killed them motherfuckers.
No, not this guy. Oh, no.
Just have to get it.
And then I hope they don't show the sensei, because I really want that to be like a surprise for you guys. Because the reason why, remember when I say like this dude is like really, really funny?
Yeah.
Is in this also episode as well, and I cry my eyes out.
Well, and I'm not gonna ruin this one for
Yeah,
us.
there we go. Yeah.
Everybody's face is just getting planted in the wall.
I'm sure definitely for a different time we have to.
Even
You know
they
what?
are, when that one person ignite and it's not Mob, it's someone else, and when he goes off and those two go at it, your mind it just like thank you.
Other people go Mob 100. Ooh.
It's possible.
One Piece definitely. But yeah, Mr. Perry died, so he was the short.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died like maybe
Well,
a few years.
I only
after
had
that.
the ladies, the art teachers,
Yeah,
I forgot their names.
So yeah, I can't never forget
Yeah.
Mr. Perry because he was also my art teacher back in middle school.
Oh, I know who you're talking about because like a lot of I think I know who a lot of guys used to talk about him, but I never had him. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm just talking about like people I used to drink on the job while they were high school teachers.
Is he the math teacher?
No.
You
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, I mean that dude was even worse. This
History
is a different
No, not
story.
the history teacher.
History teacher.
No, he was like algebra or geometry.
No, I know who's talking.
All of them. no, we're good. I'm kidding. All of them. Every single one of them. No, it's
To
a
put up with us, I don't blame him.
right.
Nah, but the history teacher from our junior year, that short little lady, she for some reason she despite me with such a passion that I didn't get it. I didn't do anything, and the only thing I did like one time is like I pointed a bottle in her face, but I didn't say anything. I didn't threaten her or anything, and I was already suspended for 3 days for like assaulting the teacher.
You got suspended?
You got
I got
suspended,
suspended.
dude?
That's surprising.
Wow.
How is that surprising?
I mean, I never once got suspended.
I never
So
got suspended
I-
either, and I used to do a
What?
lot of crazy stuff.
I've never been suspended.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't know you had that up on me.
Yo, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh, okay. You know,
Wow,
crazy.
man.
yeah, I
We
got
just
suspended for pointing the bottle at her, and she said I assaulted her, which I didn't do anything. I was showing frustration, but I walked away. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
and then they hit you with that. This is gonna go into your record, and it's gonna follow you for life.
Well, look at me now. CCRI graduate, and I'm still
There we
doing
go.
well in life. Like college is great, guys, but there's other revenue in order to be successful.
Right.
A whole lot. I didn't go to college, so
Yeah.
I went to some
You're
college.
one of the best chefs in Rhode Island.
I would not put that under my name. I do not want chefs coming at my neck. If you want it, you can get it.
You can find them at his no,
He just went like Tony Stark. My address is.
I
Come
am
and get it.
Iron Man.
I am Mad Chef.
7
Cooler Chronicles, motherfuckers.
7 different knives under his left hand.
Ooh. And Josh be like, I got the secret ingredient, and he just like summon it out of nowhere and just kill it. Yo, guys, we definitely gonna be able to have a good time in this.
Oh,
Sure.
absolutely. I mean, there is the number of stories that we can talk about, whether it's anime related or about personal life. Just you're gonna see it, and it's just gonna get better. There's only a taste of what's to come. There's
It's
only
what's to come. And,
3 of the 5 Kages right here.
Ooh, 3 out of the 6 Hokage.
6 Hokages.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
there we
6
go.
of us, but one of them is in the secret mission that still hasn't responded back to my text message. But anywho, we're not throwing shades. We're here to love, educate, and have a hell of a good time.
You just threw some serious shade.
Shut
You just threw some serious shade at that dude.
Yeah.
Dara, I don't even know you, and I know he's talking about you.
Just come back, dude. That's all I gotta say.
Look, this is season 3 of the Shinobi Unfolding,
Facts.
and this is just, a development thing. You guys want to come hang out and talk about your stuff?
And we definitely gonna have some guests.
Oh, yeah, all day.
And I'm trying to get 2 girls in Providence that do cosplay.
Okay.
Definitely want to get the mindset of how they like do the preparation shit.
Yeah, definitely. God, cosplay is an interesting art. in
I'm telling
itself.
you, there's going to be other elements
Very dedicated.
besides the anime and the manga stuff. We're definitely going to be like exploring different venues.
I can tell you, we're
They're-
definitely gonna do some 3D printing stuff. Definitely.
3D print is for sure. Well, this is the Shinobi Unfolding. You can definitely follow our page on Instagram, the Shinobi Unfolding, as well as our Facebook page, the Shinobi Unfolding. You can follow our YouTube page under work, but it's also titled the Shinobi Unfolding. You guys want to plug in your personal?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not yet.
Just follow the Shinobi Unfolding. That's all you need to follow. You don't need to follow anything.
That's all you
else.
need to know. That's what Juan is saying. That's all you need to
All
know.
you need to
All
know.
what you need to do. Thank you to all our friends, family, loved ones. We almost hit the 100 mark of on
Yeah,
our page.
almost
So-
100 likes in like 3-4 days. It's a lot of support. I think it's kind of cool.
And if you want to be part of those, group of people, you
Yeah.
know where to go. All right. So, anybody got a quote? We usually like to throw some words of wisdom. If anybody from top of the dome, if you can.
Wow, top of the dome.
Yeah, let me hear Juan's wisdom.
No, I can't even think of anything right now. I'm still just thinking about the fact that you got suspended.
Juan, it was like 10 years ago, okay? Actually, 12. We graduated back in 2007. No, more than that.
2007.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to
but-
remember 30 years ago wasn't 1970 anymore, bro.
No, we graduated 12 years ago, but I got suspended 13 years ago, so it's like 1 year plus. But
Lucky 13, baby.
Lucky 13, baby.
I think a little word of wisdom is that no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in the world, I think anime has its way of not only bringing people together, but expanding the imagination. And if it can bring a chef and a couple other guys together that all do different things, I think that can be said for anybody else. So that's my tipsy, half-drunk wisdom.
And it's good enough for us. Welcome to the Shinobi Unfolding. Peace.
Deuces.
welcome to the Shinobi Unfolding Season 3.